Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm here with just a quick chop and chat. I had some items in my January melting basket that I wanted to chop, so I would get them, ready to go. A lot of times I kind of just chop as I go, but occasionally if I can find a few minutes, it's nice just to do some, mass chopping so that I don't have to worry about it when I'm changing my wax. But I thought I would share with you some current favorites, not wax related, just life related lifestyle favorites. I have been keeping a list of favorites for quite a few months with the assumption that I would do a favorites video, and I just haven't done it yet. So figured I would take this opportunity to chat with you guys for a few minutes and share some of the things that I have been loving recently here in this video while you watch me chop some wax. So the first kind of favorite I wanted to talk about a little bit was journaling. I have been journaling for probably the last 3 to 4 months or so. It's a hobby that I have wanted to do for a really long time, but I'm not a very creative person, and I'm just not good at that type of stuff. YouTube is definitely my creative outlet, but I bought a journal. I bought some more kind of stationery and stickers and things like that, and I have been doing some journal spreads. I don't know if you would call it junk journaling or art journaling or just, we're just going to call it journaling because I'm not using necessarily junk. I'm using stuff that I've spent money on. But whatever the correct terminology is, I have been not only making spreads in journals, but been writing some too. I mean, nothing crazy, but just whenever I've kind of gotten the urge to do it. Like I've written about big stuff that has happened over the last few months. I've made like gratitude lists and done some kind of Bible study things in my journal and answered some prompts, just various things like that. And so that has been really fun. And, I don't do it every day. Obviously, I don't have the time to, but, I would say a couple times a week if I'm able to sit down in the evenings and spend, 30 minutes making a spread and doing some journaling. It's really relaxing and it's gotten me off my phone a bit, which is important to me. That's something that I've been trying to work on is like the mindless scrolling. I tend to be on my phone a lot, like in the evenings and stuff, especially when I'm just kind of at home and hanging around and stuff. And that's something that I have wanted to change. And I think part of it for me is just needing something to do with my hands, like I need to fidget with something. And so journaling has been really fun. And it's been a way for me to be a little bit creative and kind of work on that side of me a little bit because like I said, I'm just really not a very artsy, creative type person. So that has been fun. I recently just bought some more stickers and some more stationery from Amazon. I don't want to spend a bunch of money on it because it feels like that kind of defeats the purpose of just journaling and, I don't know. I don't want to have another expensive hobby per se. I'm trying to save money, but I wanted to get a little bit of stuff that I could use for quite a while in my journals. And so would you guys be interested in seeing a haul of that stuff? It's like a bunch of scrapbooking paper and a bunch of stickers and things like that from Amazon. So let me know if that's of interest to you and you guys would like to see it. So that's kind of the first favorite. As far as what I've been watching on TV and movies and stuff, I have been watching Survivor. Does anybody else watch Survivor? I used to watch it years ago religiously, every single season. And then I didn't really love the direction that Survivor was taking it. And so I stopped watching. Well, recently kind of got back into it. I've watched the last like 2 or 3 seasons maybe. and I'm really enjoying it. I've had to kind of let go of the old school Survivor and learn about this new way of playing the game and stuff. And once I've understood that and kind of got a grasp for that, I've actually really been enjoying it. So let me know if you guys watch Survivor too. I really don't watch much TV in general, but that's one I did watch a lot the last few months while it was on. Movie wise though, I've been watching The Lord of the Rings, like the Hobbit film trilogy and then the Lord of the Rings trilogy, because I have never seen them. I know nothing about them. Well, I mean, I do now because I'm almost done with the movies, but I just never got into Lord of the Rings or anything like that. So I have been watching those and really enjoying them. It's making me want to read the books for sure because I'm enjoying them enough, but I'm still missing a lot of pieces, I think. Feel like it's one of those series, and I feel this way about a lot of fantasy series. Sometimes I have to read them or, be immersed for quite a while or read them multiple times to understand all of the bits and pieces of it. But I've really enjoyed watching it. So that has been fun. But I really haven't been, watching too much TV or anything like that. But when I am, those are kind of the things that I have been gearing to. Kind of changing subjects a little bit, a favorite of mine recently, music-wise, has been Brandon Lake. I think I first discovered him from TikTok. One of his new songs came out and I kept seeing it on my TikTok. He is a Christian artist. And you guys, he has some of the most beautiful, uplifting, just emotionally driven religious songs I have ever listened to. They are fantastic. There's a couple in particular that I really love and would recommend if you're into that type of thing or if you're looking for, some good religious music, Christian music. The first one, the one I was first introduced to Brandon Lake by, is Hard Fought Hallelujah. Man, that one it packs a punch. And then the other one that I've really been loving is called Gratitude. That is such a beautiful song. He's such a great singer. The messaging is really powerful. So I've really been enjoying hearing him sing and kind of exploring his music more. YouTube-wise, somebody new that I've probably been watching her for a good 6 months or more, but her channel name is called Southern Lady. She originally started as an ASMR channel, which I watch a lot of ASMR, especially in the evenings to relax. I love a couple of ASMR artists. I have a very specific, I don't like a lot of fast tapping and mouth noises and stuff. So there's only certain people that I really enjoy watching from ASMR. But I recently discovered Southern Lady's channel, and she started out, like I said, doing a lot of ASMR. And she's kind of transitioned. She's still doing a lot of ASMR, but she lives kind of out a little bit in the country, I think in North Carolina, if I remember right. And she has a lot of just practical advice about, I don't even want to say homesteading because I don't think they're a homesteader, but like natural remedies you can make in your own home, making your own candles. They had sheep at one point, so she has a video all about sheep and spinning yarn and just kind of those simple ways, country simple ways of living. And I really like the just practical advice that she gives. She is a wealth of knowledge. So I feel like I've learned a lot about her from her channel, but then also her voice and her demeanor is so soothing to me. She, even when she's not trying to, do ASMR, just the way that she talks and holds herself and just her mannerisms are very relaxing to me. And so I can find a lot of relaxation from her videos, even if they're not considered an ASMR video. So really, really been enjoying her. I encourage you, if you are into ASMR, to check her out and see if she's somebody that you would enjoy watching. But I have mentioned a couple of ASMR channels that I watch here on YouTube before, so I wanted to share that I found somebody new, which is really hard for me to find somebody new that I really, really enjoy in the ASMR community, just because everybody does it so differently too. So wanted to share that. Also, a podcast I've listened to this podcast for, years. I don't know how long it's been out, but whenever it originally came out, I've been listening to it and I've always wanted to mention it. I kind of keep it written down like, hey, find a place to mention this podcast, and I just never have. It's called Radio Rental. It is a spooky podcast. It is about I don't know exactly what the word is, but it's hosted by a man who he's like a character. Whoever voices this person, is a character. And he is in a like video rental store. And the idea is that, he puts these various videotapes in, like an old school Blockbuster or something. And on each tape, there is some sort of scary story. So you have a few minutes of introduction of him getting the tapes and everything and putting them in, and then you have a scary story. So the stories, though, are from real people and things that have happened in their personal life. So I assume they write into the podcast and then they film various segments about what happened to them. And it's told by the person that it happened to. And some of the stories are so terrifying, or just make you think and wonder what could be a plausible explanation for some of the events that happened. And there's two stories on every podcast, a 30-minute podcast, two stories each, normally in each podcast. And there have been a few that literally, when I stop listening to them, it's like I've got goosebumps going up my arm. So if you like horror, true crime, spooky things like that, and you kind of want to hear, it reminds me almost of like Reddit pages where people share their spooky stories, but they're just brought to life in a podcast form. So if you're into that type of thing, I would highly recommend Radio Rental. They're really, really good. And then the last favorite I think I wanted to mention for today is tea. So I have been drinking a lot of tea lately. I don't know what got into me, but I have been on a tea kick. Drinking it in the morning in replace of my coffee. I'm still having coffee some, but I've been drinking tea a lot more. And then also kind of throughout the day, especially at work. It's just something kind of nice and warm to have at my desk while I'm working in the office. One tea in particular I wanted to mention, because this specific type of tea is hands down the reason I drink any tea at all. This is what got me into tea in the first place, and it is the Harney and Sons Hot Cinnamon Sunset Tea. This is the most amazing, warm, flavorful, cozy tea ever. What I like to do is obviously brew it, and then I add a little bit of honey to my cup. But even without the honey, it is so good, but especially with a little bit of honey to it. Oh my goodness. This was first introduced to me by Jessica Braun here on YouTube, if any of you are familiar with her channel or watch her. And she described it as being the tea you should drink if you don't like tea. Well, that made me buy it, and she is 100% right. A lot of times I didn't really enjoy tea because I felt like it wasn't very flavorful. I felt like you were drinking hot water with a little bit of flavor to it. And sometimes I still feel that way depending on the tea. I don't know. My tastes are not that refined in the tea in the tea space. But this truly, like she said, is the tea that you should try if you do not like tea. It is so good. I've been drinking this for probably 5 years now, but I don't think I've ever mentioned it on my channel. So I did want to just share that. And if you're a big tea lover, could not recommend that enough. I get mine either from Amazon or my Walmart carries it as well. But those are just some of my favorites, short and sweet. I would like to sit down and do a favorites video at some point, but I don't know, for whatever reason, I just kept not doing it. So I hope that you guys enjoyed hearing some of the things that I liked or have been enjoying over the last few months, or in some cases years. You can see I started chopping some of my second and spruce mini loaves and decided they're probably best just to go back into the tin because they make the bags just so unbelievably messy. But let me know if you liked this kind of style of video, talking about favorites, doing a little wax chop and chat. But I really hope that you guys enjoyed. I will see you very soon in my next one. Bye.